Talk about the Headless Rite within the PGM. Hi, I'm Cathonia, and I'm a practicing witch and sorcerer and have been for many years, and I have a Patreon where I teach witchcraft and sorcery from beginner levels to more advanced levels, and I also have a shop called Uriel's where you can find magical wares, trinkets, and items all to your heart's content. Today we are joined by one of the charms that come in a set, actually, but I specifically chose out the best charm. Now, this is important because it's kind of on brand for what we're going to be discussing today, but these are just like various charms that ancient Egyptians carried upon them, which I stock in my shop. So if you're interested, they do various different things. But anyway, that's enough self-promotion. Let's get back to the point of this video. So what sparked this conversation today was this question here. Now, the Headless Rite can be found on PGM 596 to 172. And ultimately, it's to gain control over all daemons, but not in the way that you think. It's the internal affliction daemons that we have within ourselves. So the ones that cause schmadiction, the ones that cause mental illness, the ones that we receive from doing unjust actions that are unfavorable to the gods, all of those types of things. It is an exorcism and a purification rite at its very core. Now, you'd be a fool if you didn't recognize within the Headless Rite that there is mention many times of the Abrahamic God. And we can see that through the use of such words as Adonai, Iabas, Iapos, Iao, Sabaoth. These are all various words that are used in association with the Abrahamic God. Now, the Abrahamic God being Yahweh, which is both present within Jewish Gnosticism as well as Christianity. So I'm just going to refer to them as the Abrahamic God. So through the mention of the Abrahamic God, we know that this headless daemon rite isn't necessarily aligned with modern ideas of Christianity and whatnot. So I guess from our modern day perspective, we may look at this rite and think that as someone that aligns with a more paganistic or polytheistic path, that this spell wouldn't be right for us to use. But I want to draw your attention to such words as Osonophoris, which is another word present within the Headless Rite. Osonophoris literally means the beautiful Osiris. So not only are we invoking the Abrahamic God, we are also invoking Osiris and seeing them as reflections of the same deity. So I'm going to read to you this little moment from it, the very first part where it goes, I summon you, Headless One, who created earth and heaven, who created night and day, you who created light and darkness. You are also Lonopis, whom none has ever seen. You are Iabas, you are Iapos. So it is literally saying you are Osiris and you are Yahweh. And the line, you are Osoronafris, whom none has ever seen, that none has ever seen part alludes to the fact that it's also Osiris, but could also be King Hades, because both dwell in the underworld, both are the hidden ones, none have ever seen them. So when engaging with the Headless Rite, we aren't just engaging with the Abrahamic God, we are also engaging with Osiris and King Hades, all three of those deities, which are very powerful, as well as they hold dominion over demons and the underworld too. Now, it's important to recognize the fact that 4 different religions are present within this one spell, because that is the entire basis of the PGM itself. So even though our modern perceptions of Abrahamic faiths may not align them with paganism or polytheistic beliefs, that wasn't the same for those who wrote the PGM. This is a syncretic text, which means that it is a group of different faiths and belief systems coming together to build something, a magical grimoire that enables all of their practices to coexist with one another. And that's why the PGM itself should be seen as its own religious system. And that's because it cannot fit perfectly back within any of the religious systems that helped create it. It comes at it from the viewpoint of soft polytheism, which is the idea that you may have one belief system and have been raised with that, and that's what is true to you, but you will see the reflections of your God in the deities of other beliefs and faiths. In short, to answer the question, if it matters or not that we are working with the Abrahamic God when we ourselves hold a polytheistic or paganistic view, no, it doesn't matter, because that is the whole basis of the creation of the PGM, to coexist with other belief systems. Now, if you were someone that was very set and rigid in your own personal belief systems and your own personal faith, I don't think the PGM would be for you, but that's okay, because there are other beliefs and other magical systems that you could work within and still hold your rigid viewpoint. But the PGM is a syncretic text, and it is based on soft polytheism, and I think that it's beautiful, and I love her. There is a caveat to that. To be someone that is polytheistic or paganistic in beliefs and viewpoints, and to engage with something that does work with the Abrahamic gods, it does need a certain kind of education and respect to back it up, because you cannot engage with the Abrahamic God without understanding how they engage with other religions and beliefs. I have made an entire Patreon lesson on the Headless Rite, so if you want to know more, go check it out. So why do I have Bess with me then, if we're talking about the Abrahamic God, as well as the Headless Rite, the Stele of Judah, Hieroglyphist? And that's because PGM 7222-49 makes reference of another Headless Rite, which works with Bess. But anyway, bye!